Hello everybody and welcome back to Gaming on Caffeine. My name is Isaac. We are back for episode 25 of my modded survival island. Last episode, we started working on a little bit of technomancy. We made ourselves these Essentia dynamos, which are now taking all of the Essentia made from our Thorncraft setup, which is breaking down cobblestone in the form of a furnace into Potentia, Terra, and Ignis, sending it over to the dynamos, which are then converting that Essentia into power to power our little mechanism machines. But since the end of last episode, we've run into a few issues. So first of all, I made a new dynamo. That's not really an issue. That's fine. That just means more power, and that is a good thing. But the issue that we are having is kind of displayed pretty nicely over here. And the problem is that right now, our quarry is running pretty slowly, which means we're not getting, like, a constant stream of ore, so these machines are not running all the time. And what happens then is that Essentia kind of backs up in these dynamos and in these jars, and then it starts to back up over here, and that's where the real problem lies. Because what happens when the Essentia starts to back up in this water jar is that things get clogged up. For example, if this jar here is full of Predito will still be made in the alchemical furnace and the arcane limbic. It will come through the pipes, enter this buffer, travel through to this buffer, which will then try and put it in here, but when it can't, it'll say, okay, it can't go in there, try the next one. So it will then pass it through to here. Obviously, it can't go in there because that jar is only for Terra, so it will pass it on again into this one, which will say no, because this is only for Ignis, at which point, the Predito will just sit in this buffer forever. And then when the next set of things come down, for example, if Ignis comes down, it will come along, can't go in here, can't go in here, can't get into here because there's already Predito in there, and then therefore can't get into the jar, and then Terra comes along and gets backed up over here as well, and everything just gets backed up, and it's bad. It's the idea. So, what we need to do to fix this is very easy, and it's the only Thorncraft thing that we're going to do today, because we're going to move away and start working on a little bit of Industrial Craft 2 later on in today's episode. But for now, we need to make ourselves some void jars. These are jars that basically work in the exact same way as the water jars that we have here, but what will happen is once they are full, they will continue to accept Essentia. They will just void it. They will delete it from the world. They will just get rid of it, which is a bit of a waste, but it's better than stalling up our whole system, which would result in just our machines not working ever, which is not what we want. I would like a fully automatic system that will just keep working and that we don't have to come back over and clean up every now and again, which is kind of what I'm after. So to make a void jar, it is quite simply some obsidian, a normal water jar, and a blaze powder with 15 Predito and 5 aqua. So I think we have some obsidian and some blaze powder in my system. Obsidian and then blaze powder. We've got 5 blaze powder. I was fairly certain we had some obsidian, but I think I'm actually fairly confident that we had some obsidian because I just sent some back to the AE system. But what I think was happening is I think our system, still, despite the fact that we are getting rid of our cobblestone via the setup we just set up last episode, we're still getting backed up like sections. I've just had to dump a bunch of cobblestone out of this chest here. So let me quickly take a look for the obsidian. I think it might have fallen into the ocean here. If not, what I will have to do is cut away, grab some more. We only need 3 obsidian, so it's not like it's actually all that much. You can see I've just dumped a ton of cobblestone over there. But unfortunately, it doesn't look like there's any down here, so I guess what I'm going to do is grab my trusty terrain smasher, as well as a chest, go down, grab myself some obsidian. I'll be back in a second. And a little while later, now that we've got ourselves the obsidian, we should just be able to pick all of these up. I don't know if you can make the jars with labels on into void jars. I hope that you can, because then it means that we don't have to go through the effort of redoing the labels, which would be very nice indeed. And I'm not sure if we will have to relink them. I don't know if they link to the jars in particular, or if they link, and that's not working. I think we have to undo the label. I don't know if they link to the jars in particular, or if they link to just the coordinates. I assume that they will link to the jars. And by the way, to remove a label, just shift right click. So I'm going to have to put all those down, remove all the labels, and then pick them all back up. And this should work. Hopefully, yeah. Boom, boom, and where's that last one? Boom. Nice. Alright, let's throw those back down over here. We've got some Predito in there. That should start to fill that one up. Hopefully. That's the wrong one. It won't fill that up at all. It needs to be there, there, and there. You are in the wrong place, my friend. 100%. It doesn't really matter in which order these go in. We can, I don't need to pick that up. We can have Terra there. We can have Predator here. We don't want Predator there. I would like Ignis, if possible, in this one. There we go. All right. Boom, boom, boom. Let me quickly link these guys back up. And there we go. Problem solved. All of these are linked back up, and the system shouldn't really back up again. It should work nicely and just continue to run without us having to do any maintenance on it, which is pretty cool. So, what I want to do for the majority of today's episode is work on upgrading my industrial craft machines over here to their advanced counterparts, because a lot of the industrial craft machines have advanced versions which run faster, in some cases can do multiple items at once, and are a lot more efficient than using these guys with overclockers, because right now we could just like get our macerator, throw a bunch of what are known as overclockers in there, which are not all that hard to make. There are these over here, which is simply an electric circuit, 2 copper cable, and then a 10k coolant cell, which is a water bottle and 4 tin. Really easy to make. We could put those in there, but every time you do, it increases the speed, which is good, but also the amount of power consumed kind of drastically. And you can put as many overclockers in as you want. I think maybe up to 8 or 16. Maybe you can put more in. I think 8 or 16 is the optimal. But basically, at that point, you are using a ton of power for a macerator that's doing about the same as something like an induction furnace or a rotary macerator could do, because those are the upgraded versions of these machines. So, let's go over to industrial craft. And you'll see over here, there are a bunch of machines like the Singularity Compressor, the Centrifugal Extractor, we've got the Rotary Macerator, which is the one I was talking about, the Charged Electrolyzer, the Vacuum Canner, and the Compacting Recycler, and these are all upgraded versions of their original machines. There's also this one up here, the Induction Furnace, which is actually where we're going to start, because this is one of the easiest to make. This is made using a normal electric furnace, which we have, with a bunch of copper and an advanced machine block. The advanced machine block is needed for all of the upgraded machines, and this is made using 2 advanced alloys, 2 carbon plates, and 1 normal machine block, which is of course made using refined iron. So, let me quickly go ahead and grab myself, I'll just take like a stack of iron for now, and we'll get that smelting up in our electric furnace. That should work out just nicely. Then for the alloy, if we jump back over here and over here, the advanced alloy is made by compressing a mixed metal ingot, which is made using refined iron, bronze, and tin. So we're also going to need a fair bit of bronze, which we do have. I'm quite surprised. I didn't think we had any, but I'll take that, and I'll also take a stack of tin. I think we might need more bronze, and also I would like to get enough bronze to make a wrench, because we are going to have to pick up all these machines, and I think in the newer versions of the mod pack, the machines will actually break if we don't use a wrench to pick them up. So I'm going to take another stack of tin as well as a stack of copper, and that should allow us to make enough bronze to do all of our working. So let's grab all of you. Do we have enough iron yet? We do. We'll take 6, and if we do boom, boom, and boom, that gets us 2 of those. We'll make all 4 for now, because I am going to make quite a few of these machines. I think today we'll only make the electric furnace and the rotary macerator, but I do want to upgrade the extractor and the compressor, as well as getting a few more machines at some point in the near future. But for now, let's start compressing that up. That should get us enough plates to make both the induction furnace and the rotary macerator. Now, we're also going to need the carbon plates here, and these carbon plates are made by compressing raw carbon mesh, which is made by crafting raw carbon fiber, which is made by crafting coal dust, which you may guess is made by macerating coal. So, again, let's kind of fly back over here. All of our coal is in this chest. We actually have a fair bit of coal because we're not using it as a source of fuel for anything at the minute. So, that's kind of cool. Let's throw you into the macerator. This might be putting a bit of a strain on our power generation, especially due to the fact that the only power generation we get is during the day, and it's currently the middle of the night. So, let's go ahead and take some of that coal and throw it into the generator. Even with the generator running, I think we will still be losing power overall, although it seems like we're actually gaining power, which is nice. That is cool. Alright, those are all working nicely. You 2 are done, so I will take both of those, and then we should be able to go ahead and do something like this. That's going to get us a machine block. Thank you very much. And then we just need the coal. So that is going really slow. Our macerator is definitely an area that needs improving, because right now the macerator is so slow. I wonder if we can put this into one of these, like the crusher maybe? I think the crusher might work at crushing that down into coal dust. I think. Maybe. It's not much faster. It's still a very slow machine, but hopefully, I think that might work. It does, and I think we might also be able to use that. And of course, we can do 3 at a time, which is getting some good use out of this. Look at these. They're all backed up. They're all backed up. And then I bet these over here are actually starting to get backed up as well. They are. I chose to fill these two with Predator, not for any particular reason. I actually think Ignis lasts longer than Predator, but whenever it backs up, we seem to get a lot of Predator. So I think we get more Predator than Ignis from our cobblestone furnaces. Maybe. Possibly. Anyway, let's take all of those, and then I think we can use those these in the same way we can. So I will take you, and I wonder if we can mix and match with this guy over here. The answer is probably not. Let me try that. Oh, it does work. Nice. Okay, cool. So, let's take both of these raw carbon fibers, combine them into a raw carbon mesh, which we can then compress up over here into one carbon plate. And of course, we are going to need another 3 of those if we want to get all of our machines up and running. So, I'm just going to put the rest of this coal here in there. That should get us quite a bit. How are we doing on everything else? We've got that the macerator is so slow. The electric furnace is over here. So, the way, by the way, that these new upgraded machines work is, unlike these machines that we have here, these only drain power when we're doing something, when we're wanting them to actually work, and the upgraded machines are a little worse. I say a little bit worse, because it is very minor, in the way that they draw power constantly in order to maintain their upgraded speed. And you'll kind of see what I mean in a minute, and if you've played with all the versions of Industrial Craft before, or you've played with the Advanced Machines mod before, you'll know what I'm on about. But basically, they draw a little bit of power all the time, but overall, they will probably still draw less power than the other machines that we have here would if we pump them full of overclockers. So, in the end, it works out a little bit better. Let's not take that out of there, because we might be able to take that out of there. Let's do a quick check on our coal over here. It is done. Thank you very much. We should have auto sort on here, so that auto sorts that. Good stuff. Let's get a few more of those. That gets us 2, which is only 1 more carbon ball. So in fact, no, we need to get some more coal flipping pushing up in there. Jeez. And then we should be able to throw this in here and get our second plate, which would be very nice indeed. And there we go, a second carbon plate. So what we should be able to do now, let me quickly make another wrench, and let me hope and pray that the electric furnace does not break when I try to pick it up. It didn't, thank goodness. Let's put that in here like so. And then if we put, not you in there at all, if we put you in here and go boom, 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 that gets us the advanced machine block, which we can combine with our electric furnace and a bunch of copper. And that gets us the induction furnace, which again, I'm going to place back down right there. And basically, the way that this works is you'll see over here it says heat. And what will happen is, once we apply a redstone signal to this induction furnace, so let me quickly grab some redstone so I can make a redstone torch. You could also use a lever, but what I'm going to do is simply put a redstone torch beneath it so that A, it's out of the way, and B, it will continue to work forever. I'm also going to put one beneath what is going to be our rotary macerator as well. And that was not right, and I turned it back. Oh, that's a generator. Whew! Okay, that was almost terrible. Let's put that back there. Let's grab our redstone, and let's quickly whip up a redstone torch or 2. Boom, boom, and boom. Thank you very much. Boom, boom. And now what you will see is eventually over time, the heat percentage over here is going to start to increase. And right now, the furnace is pretty slow. It's actually really slow. And that's a bad thing. We don't want it to be really slow. And so what you have to do is you have to put this redstone torch or any redstone signal next to it, and it will start to increase its percentage heat. And the reason why it keeps draining power is because once it's at 100%, it needs to continue to draw power to maintain that heat. So what I'm going to do now, guys, I'm going to go away. I'm going to quickly, actually, before I go away, check to see if we have any more in here. We do. Is that going to be enough? No. Oh, maybe. Because we've got some here as well. Yes, I think that should be enough. Because that is going to get us enough for 2 more plates. I'm going to go away. I'm going to wait until this gets to... Oh, I do not like you. Do we have a sword? We do. I keep carrying this osmium sword around with me. I really need to work on a better sword because this thing is not very good. It's got 8 attack, which is not terrible. I think it's better than an iron sword, but we could really do with a better one. And actually, I'm not going to go away at all. I was going to go away and wait for this to heat up, but then I realized that the macerator is not so easy. The rotary macerator is a little bit harder to make because this one requires the macerator, requires the advanced machine block, but then also requires a bunch of scrap metal blades. These are made by surrounding this guy here, the scrap metal chunk, with some flint, and the scrap metal chunk is made by compressing 8 scrap metal, which unfortunately doesn't have a recipe in NEI, but after talking to the creator of Industrial Craft Classic, which is this one over here, the model we're using, it turns out you get scrap metal by putting any metal through the recycler. So we're going to need a recycler. This guy is made using the compressor, some glowstone, 3 dirt, and 2 refined irons. So let's go ahead and grab some glowstone. We don't have any glowstone? What? I was almost certain that we had glowstone. That's gold. Oh, we done. Alright, I'm going to go away. I'm going to get some glowstone. I'll be back in a second. And a little while later, we now have a recycler. Nice! So I did go ahead and use the compressor that we already had, which is fine because we do have everything it takes to make another one of these real quick. I will go ahead and make another compressor between episodes. I might even go ahead and just jump straight to the upgraded compressor, but for now, we can put you in there. We're going to need the macerator in there as well as all of the other stuff. And oh, I think I'm going to need the compressor this episode. That's fine. That's fine. I think I'm going to have to make another compressor because, if you remember correctly, the upgraded rotary macerator requires the scrap metal blades, which require the scrap metal chunks, which are compressed scrap metal, which is made, by the way, by putting any metal in the recycler. We're going to use tin because I think we have more tin at this point than anything else, and I don't think it's guaranteed. I think it's, yeah, you'll see there we didn't get one for that tin, so it's a bit wasteful and really, really expensive, but it is going to get us the rotary macerator. So we're going to need flipping, wow, we're going to need like less than, almost a stack, because we need 7 of these, each of which require 8. We need 56 of this scrap metal, which, and considering it's not guaranteed, that's going to be like at least 1, 2, maybe 3 stacks of tin to get, which makes the machine real expensive. Let me do a quick check now. Is our induction furnace up and running at full speed? It is, which means now we can put 2 things in at once, and it actually smelts kind of ridiculously fast, which is kind of fantastic. I don't need all that glass, but we now have a fully upgraded induction furnace ready to run at full speed, which is great. I'm going to go away. I'm going to break down. I'm just going to throw all of my tin away into the recycler until we have 56 of this scrap metal. I'm going to make another compressor. I'm going to compress them up into the other scrap metal chunks. So I'm going to do that, and I'll be back in a second. And finally, quite a while later, we now have 7 scrap metal chunks after throwing away, I think, over 3 stacks of tin, which is kind of crazy. Let's go ahead and grab a stack of flint. I'm not really bothered about wasting the flint. The flint we have in spades. The tin we also have in spades, but it's a little bit more valuable. Nevertheless, let's go ahead and craft those up into the scrap metal blades, which we can then use with our advanced machine block and our macerator. Thank you very much. To make ourselves, boom, boom, the rotary macerator. Nice, which is going to work in exactly the same way as the induction furnace. We can put stuff in here. It has a speed. That speed is going to increase until it gets to 100%, at which point it will break things down and macerate things very, very quickly, much, much faster than it would before. And with that, guys, I'm going to end this episode here. What I'll do between episodes is the world is on a server now, so this will just keep running, and it should be 100% by the time we come back. I may also go ahead and make some other stuff that will help us upgrade these machines next episode. I might make a few more of the like advanced machine frames and a few more of the compressed plates and stuff like that, so that we can come back and make a lot of these fairly easily. Now that we do have these machines, though, we are probably going to have to work on upgrading all of our industrial craft power solutions, because right now it comprises of a low voltage solar panel array and a generator, which is not really enough to power a bunch of high powered machines, but that is a problem for another time. For now, thanks for watching. If you did enjoy the video, be sure to like. It really does help out a lot. Leave a comment down below, and I will see you guys next time.
Why are you doing this?
Rex, I'm so glad you asked that question. Simply put, I'm obsessed with the idea of capturing that moment innocence evolves into corruption. That shift from black to white to gray and beyond. Most models are cynical. They lose that naivete. However, some Blackwell students carry their hope and optimism with them like an aura. And those lucky few become my models, my subjects.
Yes, you're a psychopath. And this is your last session.